Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about the brand new Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics eyeshadow palette. It literally just released within the last couple of days. I know there was early access on the UD website for like a specific tier of membership. I am here to give you all the info, or hopefully all the info you may be looking for to figure out whether you want this palette, you need it, or not. So let me just go ahead and get started. So the claim to this palette is that it is 12 matte eyeshadows, one being a demi matte, which I'll explain in a second. They are all 12 new exclusive to this palette shades, which is always a bonus because in my personal opinion, when a company has singles and other palettes, it's a little frustrating to buy an entire palette when some of the eyeshadows you may already have in a different palette or in singles. I feel like it's just a waste, but this is all brand new exclusive, so definitely props for that. And it has their pigment infusion system, which basically just means that the colors are super creamy, really blendable, and very pigmented. So this here is the cardboard box of the palette. It has the pretty design on the front, and then on the back it has the names of all the shadows as well as actual pictures of the real shades with the brush that comes with the palette, and then a little description of what the palette is. I really like that there are actual photos of the eyeshadows themselves on the box, because sometimes the photos that you see online, they're not true to life, so you can just look at the box and know exactly what you're getting. This is the actual palette. It is a beautiful rose gold plastic palette. The actual casing has this kind of starburst effect. You know in Star Wars, whenever a ship goes at light speed, how all the stars, like it slows and then it just zooms out? That's what this print reminds me of. I mean, it could just be like sun rays, but you know, that's just me. Is this the sleekest packaging? I think it's very pretty packaging. However, in my opinion, little bulky. So when you open the palette, on this side, you get a really nice big mirror. It's a beautiful quality mirror. Inside, these are the shadows. They are very true to tone to the back of the box that I had showed you earlier. And then here is your brush. So all 12 of these shades are in fact matte, except for this one right here, which is what they refer to as their demi matte. What this means is that it's more of a satin finish. There is a little bit of a sheen shimmer to it, but it's nothing metallic or over the top. So now that I've given you guys the official overview of this eyeshadow palette, let me give you my personal opinion. Right off the bat, I really appreciate the colors that are in this palette for a couple reasons. It's going to work on a variety of different skin tones, which is always a bonus in my book. Secondly, a lot of times with matte eyeshadow palettes, the colors, once you blend them out, can start looking just like one shade on your eye. I know that with the original two like smaller Naked Basics from Urban Decay, which if you did not know, this is the Ultimate Basics because Urban Decay actually came out with two like mini eyeshadow palettes with I think 5 or 6 of these rectangular matte shades in there, and one was cooler toned, one was warmer toned. I bought both of them and I ended up giving them both away because I ran into that problem where when I was applying it, they all blended into like one color, which to me is a waste. If I'm buying an entire palette, I want each color to look different. So I really like this palette because they have used a lot of different undertones for all the eyeshadows. And in my opinion, that's what really helps differentiate eyeshadows. So you have cooler tones right here. You have some mid-tones where it's right in the middle of something really cool, really warm, but beautiful and rosy at the same time. And then you have your warmer tones. Another thing that I really love about this palette is the formula of the powders. Urban Decay anyways has great eyeshadows, and this palette is nothing different. These are all incredibly soft, very easy to blend, and when you apply them, you get great color payoff. These are just 4 of the eyeshadows here. Like, not the best swatches, I'm sorry, but like look at that bottom one. That actually came out so creamy and smooth. I actually have pretty much just these and then this brown shade in my crease, on my lid, and underneath my eyes today, and I love the way it looks. You can use this palette completely on its own to create an everyday eye, a cut crease, a smoky eye, a cat eye even. It's very versatile on its own, but it's also the perfect collection of matte shadows to pair with any shimmer, glitter, or colored eyeshadow outside of this palette. The last plus point for me is that I feel this palette has increased ease of use because none of the shades are intimidating, and let me show you what I mean. So this right here is the Kat Von D Shade and Light eyeshadow palette, and it is beautiful. I mean, it's one of my favorite matte palettes, and if you can just see, all the shades are super intense, and in my personal opinion, there is not so much of a range from light to deep shades. You have like a couple lighter medium transition shades spread out through here, but then besides that, everything is very light or very deep. Versus if you look at the Urban Decay Naked Basics, the tones, some of them do overlap and you have some similarities, which is very nice, but there are a lot more mid-tone colors that you can use for transitions, everyday, soft smoky eyes, and you can use this for everyday, but sometimes if you are heavy-handed with this palette, it is very easy to have an everyday look become a super sultry smoky eye, versus this, if you want a sultry smoky eye, then you can have a sultry smoky eye, but if you just use the mid-tone shades, you're not going to ever overdo it. I'm gonna get real with you guys for a second. If you own a ton of makeup, especially eyeshadows, chances are you probably own every single one of these shades in a different palette or as a separate. None of these shades individually are that unique. What makes this palette unique is that these shades are combined in the way that they are together in one palette. Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics, I think definitely is worth the price, unless you have all of these eyeshadows separately already, but great pigmentation, great variety of color, and wonderful ease of use. So I would definitely not skip out on at least checking out this palette because I think it's a great one. That brings me to the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Leave a comment down below for me and let me know if you tried this palette, what your thoughts are, and also any video requests you guys have, leave those down below as well, please. But until next time, thank you guys as always so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys soon. Bye guys.